Welcome to the 10th episode of Toxic Positions. Today's video starts with a ridiculous position on the Carpathians map. All we need to do is make this fairly simple run towards the enemy's spawn and park ourselves near this rock. From here, we get a perfect line of sight on the enemy spawn in grid square G2. Now I get it. Some of you might be thinking, but won't the entire enemy team see me here? Well, here's the trick. If you shift slightly lower, you'll break line of sight enough to avoid being spotted on the minimap. If you position your tank just right, even with the uneven terrain here, you can play this spot with vehicles that only have -5 degrees of gun depression. Now guys, I'll be honest with you, I rarely use this spot. Most of the time, I only go here with very specific vehicles that struggle in head-on fights, and usually I stay tucked behind this rock for two reasons. First, it gives you insane cover. Second, it absolutely tilts the enemy. Imagine seeing some maniac sitting behind your spawn on the minimap. It's pure psychological warfare. And as a bonus, when they see you there, curiosity almost always wins over common sense, and they'll start coming to you, one by one, feeding your kill count. By the way, I really hope that the guy who keeps threatening to report me to the snail actually does it, and that Gaijin finally patches all the broken positions I show in these videos. To be fair, I do think these kinds of absurd spots break the game for everyone, and yeah, they should probably be fixed. But until that happens, have fun abusing them. Oh, and one more thing. Be ready to get some very salty messages after the match. Let's be real, no one likes a rat hiding behind their spawn, racking up kills from some sneaky angle. Now, this position does have one major downside. Even if you're in one of the fastest tanks in the game, it'll take you nearly 3 minutes just to get there. I know a lot of you guys watching probably haven't even seen the lower half of this map, even after hundreds of hours in the game. So I'm including a clip showing the full route from our spawn to the final spot, just so you know exactly how to get there. Also, let me know in the comments, should I keep showing the full path in these videos, or is just marking the spot on the map enough? This next spot, I wouldn't call it super effective, but it 100% qualifies as a toxic position. All you need to do is park next to this destroyed building and look through the window. Now, for those of you who don't know this map very well, it might seem like a completely useless spot. But from here, you get eyes on some really important enemy positions near the monument. First, you can cover the hill climb from the shoreline, a spot enemies love to play. Second, you've got a clear line of sight on anyone lurking around the monument itself. And third, you get a great view of enemies trying to push through the center of the town. Personally, I like using this spot when I'm playing light tanks, just spotting enemies near the monument for my teammates. This position is insanely annoying at lower BRs, mainly because it's almost impossible to spot you quickly, and since only your gun barrel is sticking out through the window of the ruined building, it's a nightmare for the enemy to actually hit you. Alright guys, I know a lot of you absolutely hate the Breslau map, and while I haven't made a full guide for it yet, here's a fun little spot for some low-effort semi-AFK gameplay that might still get you a few kills. It's super simple. You're locking down a long street that enemies love to use when pushing toward point C. Gameplay-wise, it's similar to the previous position. You just roll up, aim down the street, and shoot at anything that drives in front of you. But jokes aside, this spot also helps you cover your team's left flank, the one enemies often try to use to backcap or set up spawn camping angles. The biggest issue with this position? Sometimes your teammates will die right in front of you and block your line of sight with their wrecks, and when that happens, even getting 3 kills becomes a real challenge. Either way, if you have no idea what to do on this map, I'd definitely recommend giving this spot a try. Just sitting AFK and picking up a couple of kills is always better than rushing in, dying a few times for nothing, and heading back to the hangar. Before we move on, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching and supporting the channel. If someone told me a year ago that I'd make around 40 videos on YouTube and that they'd skyrocket the channel's metrics so fast, I honestly wouldn't have believed it. So thank you guys for making all of this possible. I'm really glad to hear that my videos help make the game easier and more enjoyable for you. And of course, a massive shout out to the channel members. You're not only helping the channel grow, but you're also directly making my life better. I truly appreciate your support. Alright, let's keep it going. How about a position that gives you vision over 70% of the map and lets you control pretty much every key road the enemy will try to use? I think we can all agree. This spot looks like pure, unbalanced nonsense. And if you actually manage to get here, your enemies are going to be in for a nasty surprise. Now, this spot does come with 2 downsides, and the first one is what you'll have to survive on the way there. Take a look at this. I'm showing you all this so you understand one thing. Sometimes the match will literally end before you even make it to the position. Of course, that's the worst-case scenario, when the enemy doesn't ignore the bottom side of the map and actually puts up a fight. Honestly, I'd call this spot more of a theoretical position because getting there is a real challenge. Also, you should know that Gaijin loves messing with the way tanks handle steep climbs, and while a few weeks ago the hardest part was just staying alive on the way up, now there's a new problem. The slope we need to climb is basically turned into an ice rink. Your tank just slides right off. So yeah, if you want to use this spot, you'll need to spend a bit of time practicing the climb. Mastering it takes some effort. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm not entirely sure this position is worth all the effort it takes to get up here. But still, I wanted you to have it in your arsenal, just in case you feel like pulling off something crazy and really catching your enemies off guard. And hey, if you're watching this video 6 months from now and Gaijin has slapped a giant rock here to block the path, please don't blame me. On the day I recorded this, I tested the climb with both the Abrams and the T-80, and as you can see, I made it up just fine. And as a little bonus, here's one more effective position that might stop you from rage-quitting the Sweden map. The gameplay here is super simple. No tricks, no gimmicks. You take the hill and lock down a long street that enemies usually use to push toward point B from spawn or after they've capped point C. There's just one key thing to remember on this spot. 90% of your deaths will come from enemies flanking through one of these 2 side alleys, so make sure to keep an eye on them. That's it from me for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.